Coming up, Hobby Lobby under hot water and a landmark More eatery closes its doors. OU Nightly starts now. Thanks for joining us. Federal investigators have accused the owners of Hobby Lobby of looting ancient artifacts from the Middle East. According to the Daily Beast, the owners have been under federal investigation since 2011. Customs reportedly seized nearly 300 clay tablets originating from present-day Iraq. They were en route to Hobby Lobby headquarters in Oklahoma City.
The company planned to use the artifacts in their Museum of the Bible exhibit. The company is one of the country's highest profile Christian businesses. You may recall the Supreme Court case in which it successfully defended its right to deny their employees access to contraceptives. And today we're learning that the woman who drove her car into a crowd of people at the OSU homecoming parade ran a red light. She then went around a barricade and drove police over a police motorcycle before crashing into spectators. Prosecutors are arguing that the evidence suggests it was an intentional act, not an accident. Chambers is facing 4 life sentences and is being held on a $1 million bail.
Well, the saddest part, I think, is that the players still had to play the game after such a tragic event. But thankfully, there was some good weather, at least, for the game. Here, too. Did you happen to go to homecoming here?
Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go, but I watched the game on TV, and our Sooners did pretty well,
I think. They did, and the weather was perfect. Mandy, what can we be expecting?
Well, today we have lots of sunshine ahead of us, and that's good news if you have outdoor plans. It's a good afternoon to go outside and enjoy these beautiful temperatures across the state. Low 70s for much of us. A few areas off in eastern Oklahoma seeing the upper 60s, but hey, this time of the year, that sounds great. Tonight, though, it will be a little chilly once that sun goes down. Temperatures will be in the mid-50s by midnight. Grab that jacket if you get cold easily. Other than that, we don't have to worry about any winds from the north, so temperatures should stay relatively warm overnight tonight. Now, come tomorrow, it'll be nice as well. I'll have more on that coming up later in the show. And drought is starting to creep back into Oklahoma. When can we expect rain chances? And what about your Halloween? Coming up later. Ladies, back to you.
All right, thanks, Mandy. Chinese officials are saying a U.S. Navy warship threatened China's security interest and safety when it came close to one of its artificial islands. Dylan Jasna joins us now in the News Center with more on the story that has U.S. defense under scrutiny.
Vanessa, defense officials say a U.S. warship passed by a Chinese man-made island last night. The mission, approved by President Obama, could violate maritime law, although the U.S. government doesn't recognize the island as Chinese territory. The Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs says there will be consequences for any country causing tensions in their territories. And the Greek government announced it is preparing a rent assistance program for the thousands of refugees from the Middle East. Officials say the government could cover up to 20,000 migrants and serve as an alternative to the European Union's proposal to house them in camps. Back here in the United States, a violent classroom confrontation between a student and a resource officer in South Carolina is causing outrage across the country. The video shows the officer pulling a female student from her seat and then slamming her in front of the class. The officer is now on paid leave, but critics are demanding he be fired. The FBI is opening a civil rights investigation to determine if any federal laws were violated. And just moments ago, the Richland County Sheriff said another video has surfaced showing the female student hitting the officer. That's what's happening around the nation and the world. Back to you, Alicia.
Thank you, Dylan. The Oklahoma Supreme Court has temporarily stopped a change in the state's abortion laws. The law requires abortion providers to take a sample of the fetal tissue of patients younger than 14 years old. The legislation sponsor says the law is intended to provide evidence for possible child rape prosecutions. The law also makes it a crime to assist a minor in obtaining an abortion without parental consent.
All right, still to come, GM cars are so hot, they're catching on fire, literally.
Plus, a new deal could be raising the debt ceiling.
Welcome back. We're number 1. That's what Oklahoma will be, number 1 in the nation in sales tax if voters approve President Boren's proposed sales tax increase for education. According to OklahomaWatch.org, the 1 penny increase could give Oklahoma the nation's highest combined state and local sales tax. The tax will raise $615 million for public schools and higher education. It will also give school teachers a $5,000 a year raise. And lawmakers could possibly be voting on a budget deal later this week. Lindsay Gomez joins me now with Money Matters. Lindsay, tell us more about this.
Vanessa, it's a never-ending battle with the budget, but let me tell you where we are today. Bipartisan congressional leaders in the White House have reportedly struck a budget deal. The deal would raise the debt ceiling and lift domestic and defense budget caps. Lawmakers could vote on it as early as Wednesday. This fiscal deal would avoid a possible debt default on November 3rd, a week from today. And it would also reduce the chances of a government shutdown on December 11th. And Obamacare premiums will increase an average of 7.5% for the benchmark silver insurance plan next year. The Department of Health and Human Services released these findings yesterday. The benchmark silver plan is the second cheapest plan among Obamacare options. The steepest increase is going to be in Oklahoma, where users will pay about 36% more for this plan in 2016, while folks in Indiana will actually pay 13% less for the same plan next year. And thousands of retired UPS workers could see their monthly pension checks cut next summer. Their pensions are covered by the Central States Pension Fund, which says it needs to make cuts to avoid running out of money. More than 8,700 UPS retirees would be affected by the cuts, but only for those who retired prior to 2008, because that's the year UPS left the Central States to fund its own pension program. The Treasury Department has the final say on those proposed cuts and could make a decision in the next 6 months. And General Motors is recalling 1.4 million cars due to fears they might catch fire. Most of these vehicles were recalled back in 2007 and 2009 and include models produced nearly 2 decades ago. But GM says more than 1,300 of those vehicles caught fire after being fixed. That's the reason behind this new recall. General Motors says oil leaking onto the hot exhaust manifold through hard braking is causing these engine fires. Most of the fires have occurred while the cars were turned off. And here in Oklahoma, the yo-yo price of gas is down again, 20 to 30 cents in just a few weeks. OU Nightly's Tyler Jones shows us that might be good for drivers, but not so good for Oklahoma's economy.
Gas prices are dropping once again, but for the Oklahoma economy, that isn't good. For example, Chesapeake Energy has laid off 560 Oklahoma City employees this year. And Governor Mary Fallin called for budget cuts to all non-essential operations for all state agencies and put a stop to all state-funded out-of-state travel for the next 2 years. And many Oklahomans know the link between gas prices and the state's economy.
And Oklahoma is an oil economy. It is, as much as we've tried to diversify since the 80s. It's just that, the most of our economy is based on oil. I come from an oil family. That's all my family has ever done. And I think my dad always said, if oil would just stay at $80 a barrel, everybody'd make money and it would be affordable enough for everybody to buy gas too.
But Oklahoma's economy isn't the only one hurting. International Monetary Fund is predicting that if prices stay the way they are, Saudi Arabia could run out of money in the next 5 years. Tyler Jones, OU Nightly.
That's a scary thought. Saudi Arabia running out of money.
Yeah.
It really is.
All right, thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you, Lindsay. If you're guilty of texting and driving in a little over a week, that will be against Oklahoma law. Beginning on November 1st, police across the state will begin ticketing drivers they see typing and sending out any text-based message. That includes email and social media posts. Advocates for the new law believe it, along with aggressive PSA campaigns, will reduce traffic accidents, too many of which have been fatal. And still ahead on OU Nightly, it's almost that time of the year. The women's basketball team is gearing up for another season.
That's right, and Mandy Bailey standing by with weather. Mandy?
Well, it's been beautiful so far today. Lots of sunshine and no clouds, but when can we expect rain chances? I'll have more on that coming up next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. We're taking a live look on campus right now. You'll notice plenty of sunshine. There is the library back behind me, and notice the trees, not a whole lot of wind going on. It's been pretty calm so far today. A good day to go outside and have a picnic. You won't have to worry about a whole lot blowing away. Now later this week we might have a little bit of a different story. Right now though, taking a look across the U.S., Hurricane Patricia that made impact on Mexico and caused a lot of flooding in Texas and Louisiana is off over Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, off in the southeastern United States, still spinning. You can notice the spin on this in the southeastern U.S. That is impacting much of the southeast. Now off to our west, it's not here yet, but our next storm system is going to be off of the coast of California. That will move into Oklahoma as soon as tomorrow night. So we do have rain chances on the way. How much can we expect? I'll have more on that here in a second, but rain chances for your Wednesday morning and throughout the early morning hours Wednesday morning is going to stay pretty low. That won't be because of that storm system off of the coast of California. This will primarily impact northern Oklahoma, but come Thursday, that's when that storm will start to impact Oklahoma, mostly Thursday night. So if you have plans outside Thursday afternoon, you should be okay. We're expecting mostly sunny skies, so don't go canceling anything yet. It'll be Thursday night where we really start to see those impacts, and they will start off in southwestern Oklahoma. We have about a 30% chance from Elk City to Woodward, 30 here in the metro as well. Major chances are in southwestern Oklahoma down by Lawton, about a 60% chance there. Now Friday's the big day. We're going to stay very wet for our Friday, 80% chance of rain for most of us all day Friday. How much rain can we expect through Saturday morning? Some models have this a little high. I think that we'll see closer to 2.5 and 3 inches, but definitely heavy rainfall expected for much of Oklahoma. Tonight we will be chilly, although not as chilly as we were the last couple days. Upper 40s throughout most of the state. Higher temperatures off to our east. And as you're heading out the door in the morning, again, it'll start off chilly, but it won't end chilly. 67 degrees by that 4 o'clock hour. Mostly sunny skies by those afternoon hours as well. If you have plans outside, it's a good day to go outside and enjoy it before the rain gets here. Highs tomorrow across the state, well, they'll be pretty similar, upper 60s and low 70s for much of us. Now that 7-day forecast though, we do have rain chances on it. Wednesday and Thursday, we are mostly clear other than a few spots. Now come Friday though, that's when that storm system really impacts us. We have about an 80% chance of rain and storms possible all day Friday. So Friday will really be the washout. And on Saturday for our Halloween, unfortunately as well, we do have a chance of storms. If those storms do hang out Friday into Saturday morning and even into Saturday afternoon, those plans for trick-or-treating might be a little wet.
Oh gosh.
I know, I'm so sad. Okay, I don't know if your parents did this, but when I was a kid, they always used to make me wear, because I lived up in the Northeast, and they always made me wear like this big puffer coat when I would trick-or-treat. It feels like that. Like we're gonna have rain too. We're gonna have
you might want to have a costume that has an umbrella built in, maybe Mary Poppins or
at least a hood.
Exactly.
Cover yourself up.
A raincoat handy.
All right. Well,
sure.
thanks, Mandy.
Thanks, Mandy.
And as it gets colder, sports are moving indoors rather than outdoors. And one of our favorites, of course, is basketball. Courtney Boggs is standing by with a little more on OU basketball. Courtney?
Yeah, the OU women's basketball team has a message to share about their upcoming season. And Sooner football is quietly creeping its way to the top of the Big 12 standings. Stay with us. Sports is straight ahead. Thanks for joining me. I'm Courtney Boggs, and this is OU Nightly Sports. The Oklahoma Sooners defense is riding high at midseason. After shutting out Kansas State 2 weeks ago and containing a top 5 Texas Tech offense last week, the Sooners quietly have one of the best defenses, not only in the Big 12, but in the nation. That success can largely be credited to both the talent and the depth for Mike Stoops' squad. But the unit's depth will be tested in the coming weeks with cornerback Zach Sanchez on the injured list.
It's always going to be different whenever you don't have, your leader in the secondary, but it's just one of those things where we have to all, come together and everyone has to step their foot forward and we have to come out and play.
Oklahoma's defense ranks near the top in several Big 12 categories. First in total defense, allowing just over 318 yards per game. First in sacks per game, and after combining for 11 picks the past 2 weeks, the Sooners are now first in interceptions. Now our focus shifts from the field to the court. Basketball season is right around the corner, and the Oklahoma ladies feel better than ever about their future. OU Nightly's Stephen Mudd has more from Inside the Huddle.
The OU women's basketball team had their media day on Monday. Coach Cole and the players gave us some insight into the upcoming season, as well as the camaraderie of this year's team.
We got a lot of the same people coming back, and I feel like we're even going to be better than last year. And I'm just the bond that we have, and I think we're going to surprise some people, and I'm really confident about this year.
I think that's one thing that's going to benefit us. It's just we already been together, and chemistry is there. So we just continue to just work hard every day and practice, like I said, and we need to get better for our first exhibition game on the 4th. So
I think the experience versatility helps us maybe more than the versatility itself. The fact that we can put guys in at different positions, it doesn't really matter. You know, from a coach's standpoint, it gives you lots of options. If something's not working, you've got a lot of different options that you can try.
No longer one of the youngest teams in the nation, it is safe to say this Sooners squad is looking to make a run at the Big 12 title. For OU Nightly, I'm Stephen Mudd.
The OU women's basketball team will have their first exhibition game on Wednesday, November 4th at 7 p.m. inside Lloyd Noble against Southwestern Oklahoma State. Moving on to Monday Night Football, the recipe for the Cardinals in last night's game was a little bit of defense and a whole lot of Chris Johnson, who dominated the field with his quick feet and veteran wits. Johnson ran for 122 yards on the night. But leave it to former Sooner Tony Jefferson to seal the deal for the Cardinals. Baltimore drove to the 9-yard line in the final seconds, only to be shut down by this T-Jeff interception deep in the end zone. Arizona went on to clinch the victory 26-18. Finally, the Fall Classic begins tonight with Game 1 between the New York Mets and the Kansas City Royals. Matt Harvey and Edinson Volquez will be on the mound. The game is scheduled for just after 7 o'clock. However, heavy rain is forecasted for the game that might delay the start.
Well, in addition to all these fun games, it looks like the Thunder season is officially starting tomorrow, so
Yes.
that's pretty exciting.
Tomorrow night, obviously Oklahoma's really excited about that and ready to get the Thunder Nation back on their feet. So.
Absolutely. It's like Christmas come early. All right.
Exactly.
Thanks, Courtney.
Thanks, Courtney. Still to come on OU Nightly, we'll have another look at that 5-day forecast.
I'm Anna Whitney at the OU Nightly Update Desk. Two psychologists disagreed on the state of an accused murderer's sanity today. A psychologist for the prosecution declared the man who beheaded his coworker as mentally competent to stand trial. But the psychologist for the defense disagrees. In September of 2014, Alton Nolan beheaded Colleen Hufford at an Oklahoma City food processing plant. For updates on this story and more, be sure to like us and follow OU Nightly on Facebook. That's it for now. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Anna. A longtime Moore restaurant has decided to close its doors. OU Nightly's Kevin Q shows us why the owners are hanging it up.
Years serving customers and more, Harry Bears will hibernate permanently after Tuesday.
Well, the first thing is just kind of sad that it does kind of have to come to an end, and it is our choice. We just feel like it's time. Everything does have to come to an end. Just as we kind of announced it to the Moore community, we've had just a outflowing of just a lot of old-time customers and people that have come in to come back and get all their old favorites again.
We've been coming here since it first opened, and it's always been our favorite place to come, and so we're really sad that that's going out of business. We've known the owners, the whole time, and so it's really sad.
After nearly 3 decades of business, generations of families will be losing a part of their family experience.
And a lot of people really did. They kind of grew up going to Harry Bears, whether it be their church group or just going on their first date or just meeting with friends and family here, or even recently, a lot of people would that have moved out of town will come back and meet their other relatives and friends at Harry Bears that they used to live here and more.
So if you want to experience those world-famous cheese nachos, delicious handmade burgers, or tasty desserts, time is running out. Kevin Hughes, OU Nightly.
All right, Mandy Bailey is with us again. You told us about some tragic temperatures and weather for Halloween.
Yes, take a look at these records. Back in the 1950s, we had a high temperature of 97 degrees.
Wow.
The record low was 16 degrees back in 93. That is quite the extreme. We won't be anywhere near either one of those. I expect temperatures to stay right at normal for Saturday. It'll be a little wet though if you're going outside trick-or-treating. Keep that umbrella near. You may have to change your costume plans. I haven't exactly come up with mine just yet, but I might have to change it depending on the rain.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine a 16-degree weather Halloween.
Oh, goodness.
Gosh. All right, thanks for watching OU Nightly. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 4:30.
Have a good evening.